Well, good evening, tubers. It is now the 9th of August, 2021, and we are in the wake of the Senate's discussion and passing of some of the first legislation regarding cryptocurrency. And I wanted to bring this article from The Point, written by Chris Cillizza, to your attention. It talks about its official cryptocurrency is infrastructure. Now, for those of you who are subscribers to this channel, you know that I just don't care for government being in the mix when it comes to cryptocurrency. Isn't that the point? That the whole cryptocurrency sphere was supposed to evolve without any kind of interruption, without any kind of interaction from foreign governments. This is what basically made a mess of all the fiat currencies in the first place. You know, inflation, currencies falling to the point where they don't have any value. Governments can ruin the value of a country's currency. And yet, we knew it was inevitable. The American government was not going to sit by and allow a $1 trillion market to coexist with the US dollar without them getting a piece of the pie. So, of course, I was pissed. I didn't want to hear them debating anything about taking money out of our pockets. However, we got to look at the positive in the fact that they are having these discussions in the highest halls as far as law is concerned in the land in the United States. And there might be a silver lining in that cloud. And that's what this article kind of frames up pretty well. So let's dig into it. It says, Senate negotiators, not always known for their tech savvy, made a breakthrough on Monday over regulations on online transactions known as cryptocurrency. And he's saying that it's for two significant reasons. The negotiators were able to reach a bipartisan consensus, and it deals with a largely new industry, which uses blockchain technology, of course, cryptocurrency. So they talk about Pat Toomey, they talk about Cynthia Lummis, and they talk about the ages of the majority of the Senate being about 64 years of age, which is older than the House of Representatives at 58. And they talk about how this is largely still new to a lot of the Senate and the people that are doing legislation, the whole concept of blockchain and cryptocurrency. So it says a last-minute cryptocurrency tax provision was tacked on to the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, which complicated the infrastructure negotiations as a bittersweet dispute. We all know how it works. A law or some piece of legislation is put together by some smaller group, maybe one or two senators, and when it gets pushed forward, people start tacking BS onto it. I should just say amendments onto it. And that's what happened with this cryptocurrency. They started tacking on this whole piece of legislation to the infrastructure bill. Now, on Monday, Toomey and Lummis announced an amendment to the provision and negotiated with the Treasury Department that focused on regulating the digital assets. Okay, and it goes on to talk about the other Democrats involved: Rob Portman, Mark Warner, and Kyrsten Sinema. So the issue is, I wanted to draw your attention right to this. This is, I think, the big sticking point. The silver lining is we found out who in the Senate is interested in the subject and who maybe previously didn't know anything about cryptocurrencies, and that they finally are actually talking about what these digital assets are. And listen to this. Here's some facts that are very, very good. American investors already are showing increased interest in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin among adults with $10,000 or more invested in stocks and bonds or mutual funds. either within or outside their retirement funds. 6% say they own Bitcoin. Now listen to that. 6% of the folks that have 10,000 or more in stocks now own Bitcoin. And according to a Gallup, that's according to a Gallup poll. So they also said that's up from 2% in 2018. And it says that that number climbs even higher for investors under the age of 50. So then they make the comparison that Bitcoin ownership is like gold, which is 11% of investors say they own. So this is a very interesting shift. I remember the twins out there saying that if you guys know what I'm talking about, they said that Bitcoin was going to be like gold, and now they're likening Ethereum to silver. But I think it's much bigger than that. And this is where I want to put my spin on it. The fact that they're even having this conversation. Okay, it wasn't long ago. I mean, we've been begging the Security and Exchange Commission to be able to, pass some kind of exchange traded fund for any crypto for a long time. As a matter of fact, the Canadians passed the first exchange traded fund with their government, but here we are, falling behind and not being first in this area. So the idea that the Senate of the United States and now the House is now discussing cryptocurrency, what it really means is that we are one step closer to the government actually not just accepting cryptocurrency, but using it. Now I'm going to paint a picture for you. We're going from senators and House of Representatives, folks not knowing anything about blockchain technology to becoming educated on it. The next logical step would be to start using it. And when they start looking at what the blockchain has to offer as a technology in this COVID-19 environment, just think of what the impact on the crypto markets is going to be. Even if they pass legislation in the House that basically stipulates additional tax regulations for those who are going to be considered brokers, just think what a bow wave of water and focus on crypto is going to happen if the government starts to get into crypto. Just think about what I'm saying for just a second. You know, the Treasury Department has stills of gold. Okay, these, if you know anything about Fort Knox, you know anything about the U.S. Treasury, okay, you know that the United States government has holds of gold stored in various locations around the world. What if the U.S. Treasury starts to shore up its assets and they start purchasing Bitcoin? Now think about what I'm telling you. Let that sink in. You know, there are other foreign governments already doing this. What happens if the United States starts purchasing, the U.S. government, the U.S. Treasury, gets into the crypto space? At first, maybe not even from a technology standpoint. What if they actually start, should I say this, investing in crypto? What would happen to the price of Bitcoin? I'm going to leave this video right there. I'm going to leave this for something to think about. For all of those who thought that crypto was a fad, there's another video I have in this channel that talks about it ain't going nowhere. This article is telling you that crypto just became part of the infrastructure. They are discussing regulatory guidance about crypto and how the taxation should be executed at the highest level of the America's system of government. The next step, of course, logically to me, would be that the US government has Bitcoin. And then, of course, the next step after that is that it actually becomes part of the infrastructure. Can you imagine government employees getting some of their retirement in Bitcoin? Can you imagine a portion of all of the money that's going to state governments actually being cryptocurrency? Hold on to your seats, folks. We're about to see crypto blast off into a place where we could never have imagined it would go. If you have enjoyed this video and are not a subscriber, please throw up the likes, throw up the shares. Go ahead and join us. I'm sure there'll be something that will give you food for thought when you consider investing. Of course, none of this is investment advice. A lot of it is, just something for you to think about when you're thinking about investing. But I hope that this has shed some light on the potential of what cryptocurrency could be going to in the future. I just can't imagine what's going to happen after this bill reaches the House. So with that, I'll catch you on the next one.